the one piece of legislation that is likely to happen. The other stuff, there's a lot of talk that they'll expand beyond just Bitcoin to now, XRP and Cardano and Hedera. And look, those founders have been buddying up to the administration and to Eric, and I think Eric's driving a lot of this, his son. So we'll see. But the case for the strategic Bitcoin reserve, because Bitcoin is digital gold, everything else has different roles. Something that could happen, I don't know if it'll happen the first 100 days, Abs, but there's some talk. This will make the XRP people really happy. There is some talk that XRP could be utilized and or ordered to be used for a central bank digital currency or as the base layer for national banking. I don't know if it'll happen or not, but that's one that if that does happen, that changes things. It's kind of like, right now I look at Dogecoin and XRP kind of similarly in that they're utility tokens where you don't really get a share of cash flows. You don't really have a claim on anything. And there's not a lot of developer activity. But if, let's say Doge, if Elon gets in and actually says, hey, we're going to use Doge for people to pay taxes. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but if he did do that, I'd have to say then it's going to be worth more. And so if XRP really does get adopted as the SWIFT standard, clearly it's going to go materially higher. So I think those are things to watch because those are technology issues. Whereas to me, Bitcoin and the SBR is just an acknowledgement that Bitcoin is now digital gold.
Good morning, Warriors. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of your favorite crypto news channel, Good Morning Crypto, where we bring you the most relevant and impactful crypto-related topics from a top crypto research team in the world. And the title of today's episode is U.S. Crypto's Tax-Free Currencies. We're going to be breaking that down today. We had a phenomenal conversation with John Deaton that we're going to be expanding upon, where a lot of these currencies and a lot of the projects that we've been focusing on are built for transactions. That means no capital gains, guys. And we're going to be breaking that down all throughout today. Massive shout out to Gonzo, Johnny, and Mario. We got a full house today, guys. It's going to be a phenomenal episode. We already have 2,700 people here joining us. Show us some love. Smash that like button. We're going to get into some very, very exciting content. Just to quickly cover the daily movers today, Bitcoin is 103, Ethereum is 3,200, XRP $3.15, Solana is 254, and Dogecoin trading at about 35 cents this morning. Now, Mario, we're kicking it off with you, my friend, for a couple of reasons. First of all, I think you win for best background today. That's a phenomenal background. We're going to be talking about some phenomenal topics. We've also got some breaking news when it comes to U.S. crypto policy, as Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong is warning people about U.S. dollar stablecoins and the inevitable delisting of Tether. So get ready for a great episode. First of all, Mario, how are you feeling and what's most exciting to you today?
Good morning, Abs. Good morning, Johnny and Gonzo and everybody in the chat today. I hope you're all doing amazing. Full credit to Grok for this background. It was as easy as going there and saying, hey, listen, I want a Washington, D.C. with a bunch of coins, crypto coins flying up in the air. And that's what I got. So that's how easy it was. So everybody can do the same. But super excited to be here. I know we've got a lot of interesting topics. As always, it's an exciting time to be talking about crypto with everything that's going to unravel throughout the year. And obviously, I couldn't think of a better way to do it than with my three of my best friends here live on Good Morning Crypto. So let's do it. Love you guys.
Listen, guys, we may be the four amigos, but Mario is Rico Suave this morning. Now, Johnny Crypto, what I do want to talk about, and we're going to Gonzo next, but what I do want to talk about as we look at the future of digital assets is maybe the least important article only 2 days later is that Trump launched his meme coin. We're going to be focusing on crypto policy today, guys. I know a lot of people are interested in that as well. This was an article that CNBC put out yesterday. A Trump meme coin ETF is already in the works. And we covered this with our listeners. yesterday, or maybe it was 48 hours ago at this point, World Liberty Financial filed for 3 more domain names. That would be Trump Coin, Eric Trump Coin, and Baron Trump Coin, all located on Ethereum. So we're going to be talking a lot about that, guys. Remember this. We've waited. We've arrived. Now it's time to celebrate. It is going to be a phenomenal year here in 2025, just from an optimistic and energy standpoint. There was so much uncertainty, Gonzo, and now we're looking at videos and articles like this where Brad Garlinghouse is congratulating the vice president. We had Stuart Alderati also doubling down on this post saying it's a new day and age for crypto projects in America. And then Eric Trump follows it up by saying there's never been a better time to invest in the American economy and American crypto assets. Get ready, guys. We're going to be breaking all this down. Gonzo, first of all, how are you feeling this morning? And thank you for being here.
I'm feeling great, man. I'm really excited to be here with you guys and be with everybody in the chat. I missed you guys. It's the first time we've been together, all 4 of us, in a minute. Yeah, I just wanted to start off by saying, I was telling you at the beginning of the show, I was just so proud of you guys. You guys did such an amazing job on Monday. I had the laptop open. I talked a little bit, but I was just listening because I was doing stuff around the house. But dude, you guys did such an amazing job. It was so professional, all the stories, all the different things that you guys did. Johnny with his sunglasses on, if you guys stayed all the way till the end when he was talking about the Fed, I thought it was great. Johnny's going to be famous. No doubt in my mind. But you guys did a great job. So like kudos to you guys. I was really, really proud of you guys. But yeah, man, it's been exciting. Like 24 hours. I think we're going to start to see this more and more. We got Ross Ulbricht, who's the guy from Silk Road, the Dread Pirate Roberts, who got pardoned. Everybody in crypto Twitter was like on needles waiting to see if he was going to get pardoned or not. We had Hester Pierce, Crypto Mom, because Ueda is going to be running the SEC in interim right now, but they gave her a role too. She's going to be running the crypto task force that's going to help with regulation. There was a ban, that ban on Tornado Cash that got lifted. So a lot of different things are being put in place to kind of take us to the next part of the phase. But I was thinking about this morning when I was driving into work. I really feel like we're starting to enter the disbelief phase of the market, right? Where like we had these promises and like, is this really going to happen? Like, and I think it all got kicked off on Saturday with like the drop of the Trump token, right? Like I think everyone could sit there and say that everyone was in pure disbelief that the president of the United States dropped a meme coin. And so I think that's really transitioning this of where we are in the cycle when we talk about emotions. But anyways, yeah, man, it's going to be a great show.
It's going to be a great show, guys. And check this out. Paul Atkins, the next SEC chairman, is telling our listeners, smash those likes to an all-time high. That is not from us, guys. That is from the next sitting chairman at the SEC. And ironically enough, Johnny, we're going to be starting off some conversations about Paul Atkins because that's what Chris Giancarlo was breaking down. I also want to give a shout out to the people we got to see last night at the meet and greet. Courtney, Chris, everybody else who was at the event, guys. Earl, it was phenomenal to meet all of you and like meet some of our listeners in person. Hopefully we can do a lot more of that going forward. Now, Johnny, one of the things that's really important is as we're doing this show 3 minutes ago, Larry Fink just gave an update stating he predicts Bitcoin will rise above $700,000. Hopium is being sold at an all-time high. Now, do I believe that? Not anytime soon, guys. We've been very consistent about what we believe on this channel. We are sitting at $103,000 Bitcoin this morning. I believe we're going to close out 2026 probably in the high 180s, maybe far beyond that, but $700,000, I'm not on that level yet, Johnny Crypto. But first of all, before we get into our tax-free articles, we're going to be breaking down some really exciting content. How are you feeling? Thank you for being here. And what's it like being in Washington, D.C. with that beautiful background?
I'll tell you what, man. Good morning to all the Word Maniacs out there. I'm still feeling the ramifications of that 12-hour day. I did get a lot of sleep, and all my flights getting canceled. I can't get out of here. So it's been a long, stressful day. But the reality is, Abs, it was so awesome last night to actually meet some of the XRP Army in person down there at the Walter Sports bar. We got to meet Courtney. We got to meet Eric and Chris and RJ. So guys, it was awesome to see you. And as Ab said, we'd like to try to do more of that if we can. So I'm looking forward to that. You know, one guy we don't see anymore, Abs, we just saw Paul Atkins in our chat. I don't see no more Gary. Where happened to Gary? Where's Gary? Oh, wait, I forgot.
Gary's gone. He crawled back under the rock that he originally came out of in 2019, guys. And hopefully he stays there for a few years so we don't have to discuss it on our show. Johnny, one of the things I do want to point out as well, there is a lot of fake news circulating right now. Something else that we're going to be addressing is that XRP US Treasury wallet. We were able to have a great conversation with Vet, Mikkel, and a couple of other people last night. That wallet is not real. Anyone can create a wallet on the XRP Treasury and label it whatever they would like. 16,000 XRP token were sent to that wallet from outside addresses because people wanted to contribute to the US Treasury last night. So think about that, guys. 16,000 units of XRP.
Holy cow. I'll tell you what, you guys want to contribute. Abs, I think we need to open up a GMC wallet and let people. You want to contribute to the show so we could go. We could do some more content. Pay the guys like Tony Cannoli and other reporters and Ray Fuentes and other guys that we got out there in the field doing our reporting. But wow, that's crazy. Guys, don't send your money until you get validation that it's real. And that's what we try to do here, Abs, right? You were on it like a hawk last night. We're trying to figure it out, and we finally got some validation that yes, I do have a CIA job, so I can't talk about that. So Abs would keep that on the side. But guys, just be careful. There's going to be so many scams coming, Abs. It's not even funny, and everybody needs to be diligent. Just don't go sending your money blindly.
I agree, guys. And we're in a new day and age. The fact that a U.S. president is launching a meme coin, we could spend an hour talking about that right now, but instead, we're going to focus on some more important.
Think about that, Abs. We went from one president that you couldn't even talk crypto. You got freaking slapped with fines and go to jail and get the SEC lawsuits, Wells notices. And we got the other president completely the other side of the story. Hey, I'm watching a freaking meme coin ETF. The pendulums can't swing any farther apart. It's going to be a beautiful thing.
Very much agree with you, Johnny. And we're going to play this video right here. This is Donald Trump for the first time being asked about his meme coin. And now Mario, as basically a founder in this project, somebody who's on the ground floor behind the scenes like Mario is, I think you're going to find these statements very interesting because he asked, what's the price at today, guys? And Donald Trump said several billion. That's peanuts to these guys.
The other day, do you intend to continue selling products that benefit yourself personally while you're president?
Well, I don't know if it benefited. I don't know where it is. I don't know much about it other than I launched it. I heard it was very successful. I haven't checked it. Where is it today?
You made a lot of money, sir.
How much?
Several $billion, it seems like, in the last several days.
Several billion? That's peanuts for these guys.
There you have it, guys. So you want to talk about the future of our country, the future of where we're going. The U.S. president is talking about how several billions peanuts for these guys, right? And what he's building on there, Mario, is SoftBank CEO, the same organization and CEO that gave him $100 billion in December of last year, doubled down on AI projects. And I'm sure, Gonzo, you could break this down as well. This is huge for AI crypto projects because $500 billion has been committed to AI projects inside the U.S. as well as labor. We're going to go to Gonzo right after. But Mario, what was your initial reaction here? Donald Trump calling it nothing. And obviously he's not monitoring this on a daily basis. I'm sure it's Eric and Barron and a whole team of Trump organizations behind the scenes who are in charge of this. He's got bigger things to work on than a meme coin, but I did think this was a valuable clip. What are some of your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I could tell that the question was kind of shots fired at Trump, right? You're going to continue to release products to profit while you're president. Look, he released that before he was president. So I think that the timing of that release was obviously specific to happen before he took the presidency on January 20. But I think he definitely knows a little bit more. I'm certain he knows about the market cap and kind of how much money technically they've made with the release of Trump coin. But he was playing dumb. And that's honestly a different Trump than we had from 2016 to 2020. He was very calm, very collected. He responded very smartly, made people laugh. And I don't think that would have been the same response with Trump back in 2016. So I thought that was interesting. But, you said that I was part of the team and, I had insider information. Listen, you guys don't know, but I'm here by choice. I could be chilling in a beach right now with all my Trump coins, but I am not because I love you guys.
First, it was Money Man Mario. Then it was Rico Suave. Now we're back to Mar-a-Lago Mario this morning, guys, because our man could be in Florida on a beach somewhere, but he is here on Good Morning Crypto. And if that's not a good reason to hit that like button, I don't know what is. Gonzo, something we showed, I'm going to leave this on the screen while you respond, is JD Vance and Brad Garlinghouse have built some sort of a relationship. And Digital Asset Investor kind of investigated this last night. They've known each other since 2013 when Brad Garlinghouse was originally a CEO, I believe he was just an employee at Yahoo. I got to check his position. He may have been CEO at Yahoo, but JD Vance and Brad Garlinghouse have been longtime friends. So first of all, what was your reaction to Trump's response? And then what does it mean that The SoftBank CEO has committed $500 billion over the Trump administration on building AI, and I'm sure crypto is going to play a major role. Floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it caused a big correction in Trump, right? It gave an entry. So you're going to see more things like that, right? Like he's going to make comments about the token, or they're going to ask him questions and he's going to say things, and then the price is going to react to it. So that's the first thing. But yeah, I think that, we've been talking about AI, especially in the academy, and then we've mentioned it here on the show as a narrative for a while, right? Just a few weeks ago, I had rolled out the call about AI agents, which is really like you're going to have different parts of it, right? So the AI agents are more like influencers right now. They're on crypto Twitter. They can tweet, they can talk, they can do different things like that. They live on the blockchain. They live within social media, right? They're more like influencers. You have their frameworks, right? You have AI DeepIn. What you're going to need is for a lot of these projects that can't afford some of the compute that Google has and that Yahoo and those big companies have. So they're going to need decentralized compute, right? And so that's those DeepIn projects that we talked about, Akash, EOS, Render, stuff like that. So you've got all these different narratives. Layer one's Near, right? Near is going to be, I think, a really strong layer one for AI. But
Gonzo, I believe we lost audio on your feed there. Mario, while we get Gonzo's audio back connected, I just want to make sure that's not only on my end. Gonzo, are you having?
Gonzo,
we go right to Mario here.
Can't hear you.
We're going to keep rocking and rolling and get his audio back connected. It looks like he may have lost Wi-Fi, guys, because it appears his stream just cut. Massive shout out to Gonzo. Johnny, do you have any statements? Because I know we just went to Mario. Reminder, guys, when we break 1,000 likes, we are doing a little bit of overtime. And believe it or not, we are yet to get into our most impactful conversation about capital gains tax being removed. And the logic here is that when regulation comes into effect, 95% of cryptos are going to be considered commodities. So we're going to build on that. But Johnny, any quick thoughts on this article? President Trump will announce a joint venture with OpenAI, SoftBank, and Oracle called Stargate with an initial $100 billion investment in the US AI infrastructure, which plans to grow to $500 billion over the next 4 years. The project will launch with a data center in Texas and expand worldwide, aiming to solidify America's position in AI innovation. A lot of people are nervous about AI. It would be disingenuous for me to say that I was very confident in what they're building here, because if it gets in the wrong hands, it can obviously be used against us. But if this technology is inevitable, I guess it's good that the people that we voted and put in power are going to be the ones developing this stuff. I guess that's my take here. What is yours, Johnny?
I mean, literally the same take, to be honest with you. It's going to happen. You ain't going to stop it. So the question is, do you want another country to lead it? Or do you want to be the leader of it, right? And in this case, we need to be the leader of it because it's very, very dangerous technology. It can be used for good and bad. You're absolutely right. We all seen the movie Terminator. You might laugh at that comment, but the reality is they ain't too far from what could potentially be the truth if machines are thinking on their own. And so I would much rather see us take the lead, put precautionary things in a place for it, because it's going to happen. It's going to be the biggest segment. Although outside of real-world asset tokenization, the next big play will be AI, and it's going to be massive. We all use it today. There's not a single one of us on this show that hasn't used ChatGPT, Grok, or Gemini. We all use it. So you can see it. And dude, we just got started. Imagine 5 years from now when it's integrated into everything and does everything. So it's best that we're leading that than we're falling behind. By the way, I do have a good inside information source that video you showed where JD walked up to Stewart. And everybody's wondering, you spent about 8 seconds there asking, they were talking about something. Well, our inside source, we haven't really confirmed, but there's a good rumor that he went up to him and he said to him, you got to check out that Good Morning Crypto show. It's the hottest show on the internet. That's what I heard. I don't know. We'll have to get Tony Cannoli on the case.
Free plug, but I got to admit, a little bit corny there. I thought you were giving us a real insight. I was excited for a second.
That's what I got. You'll have to get Tony Cannoli on the case and see if there's any truth behind that rumor.
Listen, if Tony Cannoli can get that cannoli out of his mouth, we're going to bring him back on the show very, very soon. Now, guys, we got 8,100 people here joining us. If you're enjoying the show, show us some love. Smash that like button. And yes, this person said, I thought it was 700 likes for overtime. Guys, it varies upon the day. And today is going to be an exciting episode. We've got some great content prepared. And I'm definitely excited to have Mario and Johnny and, of course, Gonzo when we get him back connected. Mario, this was the article. I just want to briefly address this, and then we're getting into our capital gains tax conversation. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong stated the exchange would delist Tether if required by law, as new U.S. regulation may mandate full reserves in U.S. Treasury bonds. According to the Wall Street Journal, Tether is investigation by the Department of Justice and Treasury departments for lacking fully audited financials. And here's what Brad Garlinghouse has to say. What's clear to me, the U.S. government is going after Tether. That is from Brad Garlinghouse himself. So I think it's pretty fun. This person, TJ McGrath, said, come on, you do overtime every day. That's because we got the best live chat in the game, guys. We always hit that like mark, so we're always sticking around for overtime. So
that's right. Remember, guys, you got to earn it. You got to smash the like button. You got to give back a little bit. So we do it because you guys are great and you hit the threshold.
There you go. Mario, floor is yours. What I was building up to is the fact that if Tether gets delisted while Ripple's launching a stablecoin, this is not only an opportunity for Ripple, the company, it's an opportunity for XRP holders as well. This is going to drive more institutional liquidity onto the XRP ledger. And it's like Johnny talks about all the time. Institutional trading volume is what will drive the price. That is utility. So we're going to get into another conversation expanding on this. What's your reaction here to Coinbase CEO being so outspoken? They will delist Tether if required by law.
Oh, I'm not surprised. And let's not forget that when XRP was accused of being a security by the SEC, so when the SEC sued Ripple, it wasn't required by law for all these exchanges to delist XRP. They did it as a precaution. And so if it does in fact become required by law that U.S. exchanges do have to delist USDT, of course Coinbase is going to do it. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised at this point. I think anybody that's been in crypto for a significant amount of time or that has heard about Tether, I think everyone is expecting something at this point. So I wouldn't think that anybody would be caught by surprise. You should not be getting caught by surprise by anything bad happening to Tether or us getting some sort of Tether bad news, because I think it's been building up for many years at this point. We're not talking about months. We're talking about many years of building up to something catastrophic happening with Tether. So that's kind of the way that I'm looking at it. I don't think Coinbase is going to hesitate. I do think they will delist Tether if they see as necessary, because at the end of the day, they did it when it wasn't absolutely necessary for XRP. So that's kind of what I'm seeing it. But I think that what this is giving the opportunity is for regulated solutions to come into play. And obviously, as we develop this year and as we start to get regulation, that's going to give the opportunity for all the projects that have been looking to comply with regulation to come to the forefront. And I think it's very telling that Ripple launched a stablecoin at the end of last year, and it's a highly regulated stablecoin. And what are we going to witness over the course of the next few months? We're going to witness stablecoin regulation. What are we speculating? Tether is going to be the biggest one to suffer from that regulation, because they've been unwilling to comply with regulation. So potentially Tether, may be coming to an end. Maybe it won't. Maybe things will turn around and it will all of a sudden comply. I think we need to be prepared for both scenarios. But nonetheless, RLUSD is very well positioned to capitalize on that. So.
Have you seen what Tether's response was to that? Well, we're just going to move out of the country. We're just going to move to what island are they moving to? I even forgot where they're going. But that's their response. You know what, Abs? I ain't going to lie to you. I'm freaking happy that Tether's getting squeezed out. I want them squeezed out because what they're doing is wrong. They're not fully backing it. They won't provide audits. They're doing everything they're going to give crypto a black eye, and they can hurt crypto. But the reality is, if this happened 2-3 years ago, crypto would have been in a lot of trouble. Because it was kind of like one of the main foundations, if you will, of money getting in and out of the off-ramps and to buy trading pairs, right? So the good news is, first of all, everybody thought it was going to be a black swan. It wasn't. Now everybody's going to say, well, oh my God, it's going to be a black swan. First of all, black swan is something you don't see coming. 2, if it was going to hurt the industry, it would have hurt it already, just on the mere fact that Europe practically delisted it. This is a great thing. It's great that the U.S. hopefully exchange will start delisting it too. And why do I say that? Because we now have RLUSD, we got USDC, we have more credible stablecoins. In fact, there's nothing more credible and approved by the New York, I forgot the name of the agency, but it's the
New York Department of Financial Services.
Thank you. New York Department of Financial Services. I knew I was going to screw it up. It's NFSDS or something like that. NFSDS. They approved it. That's the high gold standard. So You could not have asked for a better time for Tether to go away, and you've got the highest standard stablecoin out there in RLUSD. Now, somebody asked a great question. They said, what happens, and I think I started, this is a great, this is what we do the show. Very great question, Street Heat. I'm going to read it for our people. A lot of people listen to this on the radio. So what happens if they delist USDT and some of our tokens are purchased as USD token? Do they not give us out? No, here's what's going to happen. The exchanges will couple it with another pair. So you may have to sell it in USD. It may sell in USDC. It may even sell, the best case scenario apps there becomes RLUSD trading pairs. That would be fantastic. And I think something like that's going to happen.
I love that the crypto cyclist has the same humor I do. I said radio, Johnny Crypto. That's something we left in the 90s, my friend. Now we got 9,400 listeners here. Show us some love. Smash that like button. Huge thank you to Johnny Crypto, because I think you're spot on, right? And there's no such thing as a coincidence. It's no surprise to me that Ripple launched their stablecoin right as these markets are becoming regulated, and then Tether is going to be falling in dominance. So RLUSD rising, US dollar Tether falling. That is what we're going to see throughout the majority of 2025. Now, remember, guys, the title of today's episode was No Tax on Capital Gains here for crypto assets. And the main reason for that, Mario, is because these are not securities. And we're going to go over to the former CFTC chairman here, Chris Giancarlo, where he expands on this idea. So we're going to play a 17-second video, very, very short. Then we're going to play a 1:39-second video, because what we're seeing right now is many of the predictions that we reported back in September and October and November were serious, and they may even be coming to fruition very soon. So if you enjoy this content, let us know your thoughts in the live chat as well. This is Chris Giancarlo on no capital gains tax for crypto.
Day two is to deliver on some of Trump's digital asset promises, a strategic reserve, a crypto council, and perhaps a capital gains relief for digital asset transactions. Perhaps a capital gains relief for digital asset transactions.
And this is important now, Mario, because we actually talked to Jeremy Hogan, and he agreed with this take. We talked to John Deaton, and he agreed with this take. And John's been very outspoken that he doesn't agree with a lot of the things that Trump is doing, right? But the removal of capital gains tax on crypto is so important, because imagine if when you went to Starbucks, you paid a 35% securities transaction tax. Imagine if every single time you went to Target and you swiped your credit card, they added 35% in taxes because you're exchanging a quote unquote security. That is what's being applied to crypto today. We're going into an environment where banks are going to custody these assets for us, and I'm going to have the ability to tap to pay with my XRP. That is a currency exchange. That is not a security, and that's why we're going to have zero capital gains tax on American crypto assets inside the United States. That's not my opinion. That's the opinion of Jeremy Hogan, and that's the opinion of John Deaton as well. So I know Johnny's going to be able to expand on this and how the CFTC may end up regulating this entire market. But what are some of your thoughts here before I play that next video, Mario, that it seems inevitable, no capital gains tax, because these are currencies, not securities?
Right. And I think that it makes sense from a perspective, and I don't know the answer to this. So let's see if you guys know the answer to it. Let's say that we have US dollar and we change into euro. All of a sudden, euro does well and versus the dollar, and we change back to US dollar. And now all of a sudden, our original US dollar amount went up. Is that subject to capital gains between currencies? I don't know the answer to that. Is it?
It is. If you exchange currencies, that is called like arbitrage, essentially. Is that what you were talking about there? I got distracted.
Yeah. No, it is. And so does that mean that we could potentially have a scenario where, depending on the use case of these digital assets, you may end up being subject to capital gains, and then depending on the use case, you may not? So for example, you gave the example of purchasing, right? You purchase something using your XRP. I mean, it doesn't make sense for you to be charged capital gains or for you to have to pay capital gains. But if you are investing and trading crypto, then is there a chance that it could be looked at the same way that the foreign exchange market is looked at, and therefore you do have to pay capital gains? So that's kind of my thought process. I think that if they do end up categorizing it as currency, then chances are it may fall along the lines of what we currently have in between currencies, right? The laws that we have for currencies. I obviously don't think it makes absolutely no sense for us to be getting taxed if we're using it for purchasing. And, it completely defeats the purpose of the utility aspect of it, having to be taxed twice, essentially. But I think that from a perspective of investing and potentially even trading, I don't know. I foresee that may not go away from a tax perspective. I think that we will still have capital gains from that perspective.
So the way it works is if you're swapping money if you're going to Europe and you buy, and by the way, I'm whispering because I'm still here in DC and there are people sleeping here, guys. So I'm trying to be respectful. So if you're wondering why, that's why somebody did ask. If you're going to Europe or you're going to a country and you swap US dollars for whatever, the yuan, or you guys get it, or the euro, and then you come back and you swap it again and there's a gain, you don't pay taxes on that. That is not a taxable event. If you're trading on the Forex exchange and you're trading currency pairs or you're trading, the DXY, you're going to pay tax on that. So it all depends on the scenario. And that's kind of what they're trying to say with crypto is if I use crypto as a medium exchange to buy something, you shouldn't be paying taxes on that, right? So we'll have to see how it plays out, Abs. But at the end of the day, yeah, that's how it works, Mario, is you're not going to pay taxes on the gains if you're trading, swapping physical cash or fiat. But if you do the other way, Abs, you had mentioned a comment about the SEC, CFTC versus the SEC. Do you want me to comment on that now, or is there a story coming up on that?
I just want to expand on capital gains, and then we're going to get into that because yesterday we had the SEC create a new crypto task force. So we're going to discuss what they may be doing. We do have 10,400 people here, guys. Show us some love. Smash that like button. This is an article that we reported on in October of last year, providing you and giving us a little bit of insight into the fact that Eric Trump has doubled down on this fact as well. And as Mark Yusko said, we've been telling you guys for a long time, it's not Donald Trump driving these crypto initiatives. It is his son, Eric Trump. That is who you need to keep an eye on. So Trump proposes zero tax on American crypto assets. During a recent interview in October, he stated they have them paying tax on crypto, and I don't think that's right. Bitcoin is money, and you have to pay capital gains tax if it's used to buy a cup of coffee. I was talking with a friend, and he said it really shouldn't be taxed, and I agree. Maybe we get rid of taxes on crypto and replace them with tariffs. He continued by saying, no tax on crypto, but only on tokens made inside the United States. We want tokens made here at home. We don't want these Chinese tokens. We say get those Chinese tokens out of here. This would mean Bitcoin and XRP, American crypto assets, would be subject to zero tax, while tokens created overseas, such as Ethereum, would be taxed out of the American economy. And I believe that there is a legitimate chance, Johnny Crypto, that we end up in a situation where this has come to fruition. I showed our listeners this list yesterday, and this is from CoinGecko, where they list the top American-made digital assets, and it is XRP, Solana, Chainlink, AVAX, Stellar, Hedera, and of course, DAG Constellation as well. Now, this is why we need to stay focused on American crypto assets, because these specific products may have a huge advantage for not only institutional investors, but for people like ourselves. And we're building on this tax conversation, but we are going to play another video from Chris Giancarlo where he talks about how the majority of these things are currencies. They are not securities. Keep that in mind. That was proven in court with XRP. That may be applied to the broader scope of this market as well. So Mario, any thoughts on that? Those quotes from Donald Trump back in October kind of coming to fruition. And then we also had Eric Trump just a couple of weeks ago in Dubai double down saying the same thing, where he stated, you now have a president committed to zero capital gains tax on crypto. Floor is yours.
Yeah, look, I think that would be awesome. And it obviously would be a great incentive to promote American cryptos. The fact that you potentially have, and actually, I think that's been one of the strongest drivers behind a lot of the growth that we've seen from these American cryptos has been obviously the speculation that it's going to be a great environment for them, but also the speculation that you may not have to pay capital gains tax. I've certainly spoken to a lot of people, a lot of new people that are specifically buying XRP and some of these other tokens in anticipation of potentially not having capital gains tax. So I don't know, like I have a feeling that it just may not be that easy from a perspective of implementing no capital gains on a investment / trading perspective. Again, from a currency or spending of crypto perspective, I think that's a no-brainer. It makes absolute sense. But from a perspective of someone who's buying XRP for $1 and potentially 6 months later sells it for 5x, that's profit that was made. I would love for us to not have to pay capital gains. And I hope that this does come to fruition, because obviously it's going to be great for these cryptos. It's going to be great for the adoption of these cryptos in America. And obviously it's going to be great because more money in our pockets. So I'm all for it, but I just think it may be met with some friction or it just won't be that straightforward to be able to introduce something like that, because I think it will open the door for situations of, okay, so if we don't have to pay capital gains on these American cryptos, then why do we have to pay capital gains on other assets? Why do we have to pay capital gains when we trade precious metals, when we trade stocks, and even stocks that are from American companies? Why do we have to pay capital gains? And again, it might come from a perspective of, we want to grow this industry. We want to give kind of like an opportunity for this industry to have this growth inside of America. But I just think that there's going to be a little bit of friction when it comes to introducing something like that. But again, I do hope it happens, because obviously us being crypto centric and being very exposed to these different cryptos that you're showing on the screen, it would be great to not have to give Uncle Sam a lot of our hard-earned money and sweat that we put throughout the years of fearful, and like the last 4 years which was just a lot of fear and in the market.
Agreed, guys. And this is another statement that we got kind of expanding on the Trump news, is that earlier this year, Trump had proposed to eliminate all capital gains tax on cryptocurrencies issued inside the United States. This would make all American profits made on projects created in the U.S. fully capital gains tax-free. This includes projects such as Bitcoin, Cardano, XRP, XLM, HBAR, and so on, which would be tax-free as their creators are United States companies. The inside source from the Trump team also claims that the legislation requires the companies to have been registered as entities in the country before having their initial coin offering. There would also be a path to reallocate businesses with existing crypto assets on the market to the United States. This strategy is part of a broader goal of the Trump administration to make America the crypto capital of the world, Johnny Krypto. And he's been very outspoken about that, guys. I do want to remind our listeners, we got 11,500 people here. Let us know in the live chat and be sure to vote in the user poll. But if you're enjoying this program, show us some love, smash that like button. If we break 1,000 likes today, we're going to be doing a little bit of overtime. And currently we are at over 650 likes on today's episode. So let's see if we can get to 1,000. That would be phenomenal. Then I got to drive Johnny Krypto to the airport. But Johnny, what's your reaction here? And then we'll play the brand new clip of Chris Giancarlo.
It just, I love it. Trump does what Trump does, Abs. He puts America first. And you know what? If you launch your crypto in America, you're going to get rewarded for it. Good for him. And you know what? America, the prior administration, definitely was doing something to slow down innovation and kill crypto in America. It hurt a lot of American companies. It hurt a lot of American people, because there are people right now out there either watching this show or looking for a job, and they could have had a crypto job potentially in America, and they didn't get it because those companies were afraid to launch positions here in the USA. Well, you know what? The beautiful thing is now, kind of like, okay, we were punished in the past by our prior administration, and our new administration said, you were punished enough. Now we're going to reward you. And I'm freaking happy as hell that Trump is coming out and saying, you know what? You're in America. We're going to give you special breaks. Good for them. Those companies deserve it, and I'm all for that. USA, good.
Guys, this isn't a Trump rally. It may just have the same vibrations here, but we got 11,600 people here.
There's going to be so much winning. We're going to win like crazy.
You may even get tired of winning. Now, guys, here's the reality. We are in a new era for digital assets, but most importantly, we are in the post-Gary Gensler environment here. This is Chris Giancarlo talking about who Paul Atkins is and some of the major changes he's anticipating under Donald Trump's administration. Not inauguration, guys. Still got the inauguration on my mind. I do want to give a huge thank you to everybody. Let us know. Are you optimistic? Are you excited about the future for crypto inside the United States? This is Chris Giancarlo talking about Paul Atkins and a new era for the SEC.
Paul Atkins tapped to be the crypto czar for the new administration. What does he bring to the table?
So I've known Paul since we were classmates at Vanderbilt Law School back in the early 1980s. Paul's a dear friend. He's a very serious thinker. Paul is at heart a free market, a libertarian. Paul believes we need to use our financial regulatory scheme to further capital formation. He wants to get down to the basics of the SEC's role to further more IPOs, more liquid markets, deep and liquid, and focus on how the SEC can facilitate innovations coming to market and raising capital. So I think we're going to see an explosion of American markets under the leadership of Paul Atkins at the Securities and Exchange Commission. Day 2 is to deliver on some of Trump's digital asset promises, a strategic reserve, a crypto council, and perhaps a capital gains relief for digital asset transactions.
There you go, guys. We are going to play that last 40 seconds. But Johnny, remember, the reason for this is not because he's just going to do some huge favor for the crypto industry. It is because these cryptocurrencies are exactly what we said they were, cryptocurrencies. And Jeremy Hogan expanded on this, so I'd love to just give you the floor and we'll continue.
That's right. Hogan actually told us, when you think about what was going on here, and Gary, I know you're pissed. I get it. You got booted out. Gary, here's the good news, Abs. Just so you know, if you're looking for a job, we need somebody to help clean our toilets here at the GMC offices. So please fill out an application, Gary. It's so easy. It's right on the website. It's so easy to do. It's right there. So come on in, Gary. We'd love to interview you for the job.
Hey, I don't want Gary in my bathroom. I'll just leave it as that.
Really? Oh, I think it'd be hilarious.
He's good at screwing people. I don't want him in my bathroom.
Anyway, so here's something that's very fascinating that we learned the other day. And that's what's so great about apps. Even we're learning things, right? All the time. And so when we had Jeremy, for those of you who maybe caught it, we had Jeremy and Freddie on the show on Monday. And what we learned was, you all know there's a FIT 21 bill going out there today, being passed around. It was passed around last year. If that FIT 21 bill gets passed, Abs, as written today, it's going to basically take the 90 to 95% of cryptos and shift the power of those to governance by the CFTC and not the SEC. And so, here it's funny. Here we have been sitting here and watching who's going to be the new SEC guy. The reality is that may not be as significant, or it won't be, as Jeremy Hogan told us. If Congress passes that bill as written, then we're going to be caring about who becomes the new CFTC, and Paul Atkins will be, we won't really care because he will have very little impact on cryptocurrency. So keep an eye on that. We will certainly be keeping an eye on it. That's why you're here, Jim. And we'll let you know if that bill passes, Abs. It's a very, very significant difference from what we've been thinking in the past.
Absolutely. And I'm looking for that interview so I can actually play it for our listeners, guys, because this is something that I actually haven't seen many other crypto channels cover. But what we know for sure is that the majority of these projects are going to be regulated as commodities and as currencies, not as securities. And one thing that we know definitively, Mario, is that XRP is not a security. So if you want to talk about the broader crypto market, like the HBARs and the XLMs, we have to assume. But when we think about XRP, we can say absolutely, guys. And I love this little pun right here. Now, Mario, any quick thoughts on what we said about Jeremy Hogan's statements, Chris John Carlos' take, and anything else that comes to mind?
Yeah, look, I think that all of these things are on the cards, even though my gut kind of tells me that it may not be that straightforward. What we have on the table right now is we have a president that wants to put that into place because he said he wanted to do it. And so that's why I said, like, the next few weeks and next few months are going to be crucial for the crypto space, because everything that's been promised, we're talking about right now, specifically the capital gains, but there's a lot of crypto developments that have been promised by current President Donald Trump. And so the next few weeks to few months are going to be very crucial for us to find out exactly how this market is going to get regulated, how this market is going to continue to be viewed in America, all the things that he wants to implement. We've obviously, I think it's going to be positive because one of the biggest things we've seen a specific crypto committee, or the crypto czar, that's been put into place. So that tells us that they're serious about taking crypto, and obviously AI is a part of it too. But they're serious about taking crypto serious. That, for lack of a better phrase. And so I think that we can expect good things, because the dark times, the terror in crypto, like David Sachs said on Friday, that we had to deal with over the last few years. So it comes to a point where it's like, well, how much worse can it get? I think that it got as worse as it could. And now we're finally turning the corner. And a great indication of how crazy crypto is probably going to get over the next couple of months was the release of Trump coin on Friday. I don't think many people anticipate that. I posted on X, the market just proved us, be ready for the unexpected, or expect the unexpected, because that's what we got on Friday. And it was, honestly, for me, it was great because of a lot of people got to make money. I know that we've been joking around about me making a lot of money. That was not the case, guys. I got in with a couple $100. It did make money, but nothing significant, not being ungrateful, but it wasn't anything life-changing. But it did help. It did change a lot of people's lives who were able to get in and make a lot of money. But it also gave me a great indication that this bull run is confirmed. Like, how many more signs do we need to tell us that the next few months are going to just be huge for the crypto space? I think that this was just a start. The next few months and weeks will tell. We'll start to get news roll out. Price action has been somewhat sideways and boring for Bitcoin and the majority of the cryptos. And I think that everything is just gearing up for a piece of news to come out and then the market to react accordingly, which is going to be, exponentially to the upside.
So Abs, I got a little more information here. So people may know this, may not know it, but the CFTC is governed similarly to the way the SEC is. There's 5 commissioners. Carolyn Flam is 1. But what I wanted to tell you is when you look at the other 4 that are there, 4 of them were appointed by Joe Biden and 1 by Barack Obama. So you've got 5 commissioners all appointed from the Democratic side of the party. Now, from what I'm learning about these folks, I've been kind of investigating a little bit, or maybe Tony has, we're learning that they're kind of seem to be a little pro-crypto, but we know they did go and sue some of the DEXs. So more to come there, but 5 commissioners all appointed right now by the Democratic side.
Pretty interesting, guys. And honestly, we can debate the relevance of it too, because I do think that under this new era in America, even if you're liberal, I don't think that means, or Democratic, I don't necessarily think that means you're anti-crypto. Just to be clear, I think we had a good conversation last night, Johnny, where these people flip-flop constantly. People like Elon Musk were in the Democratic Party in 2016. When you think about Mark Zuckerberg or even Jeff Bezos, guys, all of these people have come out and supported Trump. And you're talking in regards to something similar, but still different, where these CFTC chairmen were appointed by Democrats. I don't think this war is existing anymore. I think both sides of the aisle are excited about the future of crypto. And this is a little evidence of that. The SEC has launched a new crypto task force to develop framework for crypto assets. New SEC task force will develop a comprehensive and regulatory framework for crypto assets, and Commissioner Hester Pierce will lead the agency-wide effort. Now, some people were saying too little, too late. I don't feel that way. I'm actually pretty excited about this from the standpoint that we are drafting rules. We're creating rules for the road, and at least we can look at these rules and say they're great or they stink, but they exist now. And for the last 4 years, we've had no rules, and they've been telling us, yes, they exist. You just can't find them. Even though you've looked for hours, you've investigated our website, they're there. You just can't find them. Well, now they do exist. Hester Pierce is leading this initiative, and I'm excited about it, guys. I really do believe that the SEC is not going to play a major role going forward in preventing crypto from flourishing in the U.S. Here's a little bit of evidence for that. Mario, what are some of your thoughts on this? We'll go straight to John.
Well, I said before expected. I think the one thing that we can take into consideration is that potentially these rules may actually have an initial negative impact, because maybe they will reveal that a lot of these cryptocurrencies that we have in the market are non-compliant. Now, with that said, I think that there is going to be sort of like a compliance period. I wouldn't think we get rules of the road and then all of a sudden it's like, all right, here's the rules. Everyone's got to be in compliance right now. I think that there's going to be sort of like a grace period, kind of like how Tether was given that grace period over in Europe, and they chose not to comply, but that is what it is. But I think in America, we'll have that situation where it's like, all right, these are the rules of the road. Let's work towards compliance. Let's put a date on it. So this way everybody knows exactly how it goes. But honestly, the big thing about all of this that gets me really excited is the fact that now we're going to, I really think competition is going to ramp up, because now institutions will know exactly how they can operate in the space. I know that their lawyers are going to look at them and they're going to say, all right, yeah, we can set this up in America now, and this is exactly how we can go about it. So, from a partnership perspective, from a new development perspective, from new blockchains potentially coming out, new projects, I really think that this is going to open the doors so that things start to move a little bit quicker. We often talk about how the crypto space is, and as I talk to people, people talk about how the crypto space is so fast paced. Actually, I think this is about to get even faster, because now that we're getting the green light and these companies can move forward, I really think that the crypto space is going to move exponentially quicker.
Yeah, and when you look at it, first of all, we've been saying this for a while. I don't think it's the person in the job. I think it's their boss, and they're executing. And Gary just executed what Biden and his administration wanted, and we got a very anti-crypto because that's what they wanted. I actually believe, Abs, that even though all these folks were appointed from Democrats, I agree that if Trump says you guys are going to promote my policy, they're going to do what he says, or they're going to be out of a job because he'll get them booted out of there and they'll get replaced. So I don't think it matters. It was just fascinating that none of them were appointed by a Republican side. But the reality is, it doesn't matter. I think what we're going to see is Trump's going to push his agenda, and they're either going to. You got two choices. You're either going to do his agenda, or you're fired. That's it. That's what's going to happen. And I love the fact that we're on day 2, right? Day 3. We're on day 3 of Trump being in office, and we already got a crypto task force created by the SEC to lay this out. We've been asking for that for 4 years, and it wasn't Gary's fault. He was never going to do it because his boss didn't tell him to do it. And now we're seeing the evidence of that. That now, when the boss says do it, people will do it. And that's what we're going to see a lot of that. Very, very positive.
Guys. And we already have 13,100 live listeners here joining us. Show us some love. Smash that like button. Huge thank you to Johnny. Huge thank you to Mara. And a big shout out to Gonzo as well. What we're going to be talking about next is the actual crypto policies that are going to be put in place. But I want to remind our listeners, we had the goal for 1,000 likes. I want to do a little bit of overtime. We are currently at 810. If we break 900 likes, we will stick around for a little bit of overtime because there is some massive videos that I want to play from not only Chris Giancarlo, but from Ross Ulbricht and from hedge fund managers talking about Cardano and XRP. So if you want that content, smash that like button and stick around. Here's Chris Giancarlo talking about U.S. crypto policy being developed today in the background.
Some of Trump's digital asset promises, a strategic reserve, a crypto council, and perhaps a capital gains relief for digital asset transactions. Then thirdly, to get to the actual policy making, we need to get FIT 21, that is Fit for the 21st Century Act, which was a law that passed the lower house, the House of Representatives, but not the Senate. We've got to get that passed. That will work out the differentiation between what is regulated by the CFTC, my former agency, and what is regulated by the SEC. And we've got to get stablecoin legislation done, and we've got to get good rules and regulations out of both agencies. If we get that, we'll have achieved some very good policy, I hope, for the rest of the 21st century to allow the United States to truly become the digital asset capital of the world.
But boom, Johnny Krypto, we can make that a commercial for this digital asset space. And the reality here is for a long time, we had no reason to celebrate. Now they're hitting us with so much optimism, so many headlines. It's like every day we are getting not one, we're getting 3, 4, 5, 6 positive headlines every single day about XRP, about Bitcoin, and most importantly, about America. Floor is yours.
We're going to get so much positivity apps. You're going to say, stop bringing me the positive. We're going to say, it's coming. I mean, we literally predicted this last year that when Trump gets here, you're going to see an administration and a news headlines you've never seen before. We have not had a chance, at least you and me haven't, in when we got in 2020. And I don't think Mario did in 2017 because there wasn't a single presidential candidate or anybody talking about crypto in 2017, 2018. So this is the first time in our lifetime, apps. This is why I try to tell you, it's 1997 all over again. It's exciting. People want to be in the space. The president's freaking launching his own damn meme coin. Money's going to come in like you. So there's going to be so much money. It's so much money coming in. You're just going to be, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe there's so much money is coming into it. It's going to happen. And you heard Giancarlo say there, and we do need to play that over again. Very important, like 3 major things need to happen, right? And he called all 3 of them out, getting the FIT 21 done, getting the bill passed, and then getting rules and regulations put in place to govern it. That's a lot of shit. That's a lot of stuff that needs to happen. And I'm going to tell you right now, it ain't happening in 30 days. That's just not how quickly they move. It's going to take a while. It may take half a year, 9 months, but when it comes, oh, baby, tsunami like you've never seen before.
You know, it's funny. Anybody who's new to the show, and our users have doubled, tripled, quadrupled in these last 6-8 months here, guys, is that Johnny Krypto for a long time was not this optimistic. So for him to change his stance and become this optimistic, it is because there is reason to believe that. Regulation, crypto czar, the relationships that we've pointed out. It's many of the projects that we've told our listeners to double down on over these last 3 or 4 years that are going to be the most profitable under the Trump administration. I'll list them out, guys. XRP, HBAR, XLM. Those 3 in particular are the center of attention here. And we're going to expand upon that because There were some tweets that were put out yesterday kind of breaking this down. But Mario, I wanted to give you a chance to comment on this latest article because Chris Giancarlo is the former CFTC chairman. And remember what he said. Here's 5 more seconds and we'll go straight to Mario.
On some of Trump's digital asset promises, a strategic reserve, a crypto council, and perhaps a capital gains relief for digital asset transactions.
So obviously we have those 3 major catalysts. Then we have the FIT 21 bill. Then we have SOB 121, which removes the banks from being required to hold digital assets as liabilities on their balance sheets. All of this negative regulation here, or quote unquote regulation by enforcement, seems to be being reversed. What's your initial take? And do you think the optimism is warranted, Mario?
Oh, absolutely. You said that Johnny, wasn't very optimistic in the past. And honestly, like, it's so easy to be optimistic on the crypto market right now, like super easy to be optimistic. I mean, the news surrounding the space are just extremely positive. You've got some of the craziest and best things that we've ever discussed and had happen in the crypto space. Being in crypto in late 2022, as the FTX catastrophe, happened, as the whole FTX thing unraveled, and then going into 2023 with how things progressed. I mean, just as if FTX wasn't bad enough, then you had the entire government try to take down crypto. It was really hard to be optimistic. I mean, nobody really had an incentive to want to be in the crypto market, except those that continued to do their research and believed that what was happening was just par for the course. And what was happening was what Mark Yusko says on the show, the phases of something that is new, of a new technology. You know what I mean? First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win. And so Yusko said many times, we've already won. And so people who had that mentality, they were able to stay in this market throughout the last couple of years. And now they're collecting the hardship that they went through. They're collecting the gains from the hardship that they went through. Like, we often talk about how the last couple of months specifically have been transformational, but in reality, and I've been telling a majority of people that I've been speaking to, just so I think it's important that everybody understands kind of where we're at in the cycle. And the reality of this bull run began in the last quarter of 2023. So it's been more than a year at this point. And the reason why I say it began is because we went from being like this to starting to climb. And that moment began with the filing of the ETF by BlackRock. And the moment that filing of the ETF by BlackRock, the sentiment started to change. Bitcoin started to catch some momentum. It started to move up. And obviously, January of 24, things got really exciting because the ETF was launched. And then we got a new all-time high for Bitcoin soon after. And so the bull run's been going for a little bit. And so what I'm trying to say is that things are super exciting now. And anybody coming into the market, just try to spend a little bit of time understanding the cycles. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say don't invest right now. I don't think, I'm not a financial advisor. I can't tell anybody what they should do, but try to understand the cycles, and based on the previous cycle, see how more or less how much time we have left, because this thing has been going on for a while. And so super easy to be optimistic. These are the best times that we've ever had in the crypto space. This is the easiest time for anybody to get into crypto right now. Conversations that were had like a couple of years ago where you would tell your friends about crypto and they'd be like, oh, that stuff, the government said this and there's no regulation. Well, now we're entering a phase where it's like, well, listen, our president launched a meme coin. And so that's the ultimate bullish confirmation that this market is here to stay. It just becomes a lot easier to have crypto conversations going forward.
I very much agree with that, Mario. And this person commented, Abs, look up Caroline Pham, the acting CFTC chair. There's a picture of her with Brad Garlinghouse. This is the picture that you're referring to. So thank you for that insight here. I'm going to read this for our listeners as well. Brad Garlinghouse commented, and this is from 2022. It appears September 19th, 2022. An absolute pleasure to welcome you to our offices, Commissioner Caroline Pham, the public and private engagement with the handshake emoji. Caroline commented, the next stop on my learning tour was visiting Ripple Labs. Massive thank you to Brad Garlinghouse. Hashtag XRP, hashtag crypto, hashtag blockchain. I'll throw in hashtag Johnny Crypto, guys. And we're in the last 60 seconds here of the show. I want to just check the live counter and see what we're at. We are at 945 likes, guys. Massive thank you to every single person who hit the like button today. If you're enjoying the program, you already earned the overtime, but smash that like button to support us. We love doing this show, and that's just one of the simple ways that you can help us out here. Now, Mario, one of the things that I was building up into is the fact that people have said for a long time, will XRP flip Ethereum? This is just a little fun article that we're going to break down, Johnny. But look at what Brad Garlinghouse said here. He said there's palpable excitement for all the good that's possible leveraging crypto and blockchain. Here's to the US finally and globally. Very exciting. Well, let's build on that just a little bit more, because XRP has the possibility to pass Ethereum, right? We've been discussing this on our channel for quite a while, and that's what I'd like to expand upon just very shortly, Johnny. XRP is only a 2.2x from passing Ethereum at 401 billion in market cap. So the question that I have is, one's in the chat if you think XRP passes ETH this cycle. Two's in the chat if you think Ethereum remains the top altcoin. My belief is this, Johnny. If many of the things that we talk about every single day end up coming to fruition, like Fruition Productions, this is going to happen. And it's not only going to happen, it's going to be the beginning for XRP and for the adoption of these assets. Now, I just want to give you a chance to comment, not steal any thunder. First of all, do you think this is possible? And if so, why?
First of all, I love what you did there. That was fantastic to squeeze in that little plug for Fruition Productions. Guys, go to the website, click the link below, subscribe for less than a cup of coffee. They do wonderful work. Many, many documentaries will be coming your way. They are working on a fascinating documentary that we were talking about, Abs, last night here. You remember how exciting that was. And so there's some good things there. So go sign up for a subscription and you'll be, oh, we lost Mario. Abs, I'm sorry. Can you rephrase the question?
Yeah, will XRP pass Ethereum this cycle, and if so, why?
Oh, yeah. Oh man, I'll be on. Actually, I woke everybody up so I could talk loud now. You know what, Abs? I think at the end of the day, I feel like XRP, we all feel like, hasn't had its moment yet. Hasn't really moved. We got a nice little lift, but it has never had a chance to actually run and be fully unleashed, right? No pun intended again. Go check out Rigs from the Start. But anyway, point being is this. It's finally, I think, going to get to have its day and its run. And it's going to get to do it in this term, under this president, under this administration. Look at all these connections, right? And ETH had a massive run in the prior bull cycle. And we're not really seeing it get a lot of momentum. And ETH has a lot of challengers now. A lot of challengers. And so I'm just not feeling that ETH is going to have as big of the upside versus if you'd have asked me, like you just did, what do you think XRP? I think XRP certainly has more room to run. So to sit here and say at the end of this year, do I think we could surpass and move into the number 2 spot? I wish I had my like button. I'm going to have to say, yeah, I think it's possible, very possible, Abs, that by the end of this year, and we're just talking about doubling. And it was so funny. We were in the spaces last night, and people were talking about the utility of XRP. It was great spaces with Vet and Mikkel, and you were in there, and I and a few others. And one of the things that was interesting, Abs, you remember when they started talking about, well, there's not enough XRP to do the transactions. What are you talking about? Well, the $3 XRP, and with 55-ish coins available, that puts you at about $155 billion of total transactions in market cap. That's all you could do, Abs. That's all XRP can move today at its price and this coins in circulation, Abs, 150 billion. That's not a lot of money in retrospect, right? So think about it. Let's say XRP can grow its utility, and Abs, let's just say we want to trade $1 trillion a day. I don't have my calculator from me, so I'm going to do like some rough math off the top of my head. That's another approximately a 5 or 6x from there. So XRP would have to be around, I'm just going to go rough ballpark, somewhere around $10, $12, $15 Abs to be able to handle $1 trillion in institutional transactions. Now, I know today that I used to show this number all the time on the show, and I think Mikkel said yesterday that we're transacting around, I think, 7 to 10 billion, right? Okay, yeah.
We've seen gains as high as 12 or 15. 12
or 15 billion. And we have the capacity today to do 150 billion. So of the 150 that it's worth, the total market cap, about, let's say 10. Let's say 15 to make it easy. 15 billion is being used in actual utilization. That means, Abs, that's 10%. The other 90% of the price, it's all speculation right now. So as we continue to move up in utility, speculation price is going to come down. And why do I care about that? Because the more that's locked into utility And the less of speculation, the more stable and flat whatever price we're at is going to hold. And that's good news for all of us. So hopefully that gives you a little background on kind of why we want to keep an eye on utility, market cap, coin availability, and circulation. They all tie in together into what the future price could be.
I want to give a huge shout out to Dagnum, guys. We're going to be bringing him back on the show sometime soon to talk about the project DAG and Constellation. He gave me access to an event this weekend that's going to be very exciting. So tomorrow on Good Morning Crypto, we may have some behind the scenes updates to give you. And what's so exciting about that, guys, is I treat this show like it's a private room, right? I'm sitting here in a bedroom looking at my laptop, but the reality is there's 14,600 people here. And any insight that I can provide from this event that we're going to be attending tonight, I will be giving our community here on Good Morning Crypto. I promise you that much. And the number one thing I want to do with this channel is build a community that makes a lot of money and trusts what we say. And that's what we're going to continue to do here on GMC. Now, what we're showing you is something we showed yesterday. We're not going to get into the whole thing, but this is a video of JD Vance walking out of the back room, going up to Brad Garlinghouse, shaking his hand, as good friends do when they see each other. And we're going to build on this for just a moment here, guys, because that was a great breakdown, by the way, Johnny. Thank you for that. But we're going to expand on this for a moment because there's clear connections between Brad Garlinghouse and JD Vance working together in 2013 in the San Francisco tech bubble, right? So these guys didn't just meet each other and become friends the other day. These guys have been friends for more than a decade, and we can discuss how much JD Vance knows about Ripple and XRP, but we already showed the video yesterday where JD Vance this year, it would actually be February of 2024, so less than 12 months ago, but not this calendar year, said the number one person he's critical of when it comes to the regulation of crypto is Gary Gensler because of his regulation by enforcement agenda and the fact that he goes after projects that are successful, not projects where people lose money. Good examples of this: Coinbase, Binance, Ripple, Kraken. All of these companies were profitable, successful, millions of users, not only in America, but around the world. And those are the companies that he felt like were ordered to pay. I mean, Kraken gave him $30 million. Ripple's ordered to give him 125 million. Coinbase is still in court. I think that'll get dismissed eventually, but Binance also had to pay the fine. Pay to play, baby. That's what they like to say. Johnny, what are some of your thoughts there?
Pay to play. Well, first of all, the first thing, I wish I was at home and had my sticker. I'd be putting it up right now. It always holds true, folks, every single time. It's not what you know. It's who you know. And these guys all know each other. I mean, it's like the big buddy club, and they're all coming back together. And here's the great thing about this buddy club. I think when you walked on the sign, it said Crypto Club, because these guys are all in the Crypto Club, and it's fantastic. We're here before they got here, and we're going to get to enjoy the ride. These guys are going to pump this thing up, and not pump it up artificially. They're going to pump up. I'm not going to use the word pump up because that's the wrong statement. They're going to create a market, a true market, true rules, true regulations, true everything, so that they can flood all the money into it. So all their buddies that own all this stuff can make millions and millions and billions of dollars. And boy, it's going to be so much fun. How much fun is it to get to be on a boat and the tide's riding, or you're on the back of there and you're enjoying the ride on the back of the tube, right? You get to enjoy that rise, that rush. Get ready, boys. It's going to be a rush like you ain't never seen before. And it ain't going to happen soon. It's not like next week it's going to happen. But between sometime this year and next year, if I had to put a time frame on it, I'd say within the next 2 years. Remember, he only controls Congress and Senate, guys. Very important. He only controls it for the next 2 years. So anything Trump is going to do in this space, it has to get done in the next 2 years. And I think that's what's going to happen, Abs. And oh boy, it's going to be fantastic.
Guys, we're going to get into a little conspiracy talk. It is not Conspiracy Friday, but we got 15,000 people here. If you're enjoying the show, show us some love. Smash that like button. I almost say this every day, guys. We do have the best live chat and the best community in all of crypto. I think that it's a great example of what we've built here on GMC, and it really does come from the people who watch us. That has nothing to do with me and Johnny Crypto. For some reason, we just happen to attract the best people in the game. So I want to give a huge thank you for everybody who watches our show and contributes by hitting the like button, commenting, or just watching, right? Even if you're just watching in silence, you got this on TV or on your phone while you work. Massive shout out to each and every single one of you for being here. And hopefully through this community and through some of the advice that we've provided here, you guys make a ton of money, not only in 2025, but 2026 and beyond. That is what we're trying to do for you guys. And that is why we always talk about Merlin. Create a plan for yourself and check it out 30 days, absolutely free at merlincrypto.com. Whether you use Coinbase, Kraken, Uphold, a Ledger device, you need a plan if you want to be successful, and we've created an application that helps you make a successful plan. Now, here's the conspiracy talk that we're going to be getting into next, because we've showed you before. Is Elon Musk the cartoon bear of the XRP community? Now, I know there's some people out there who are going to tune this out. Trust me, we're going to get into some legitimate content afterwards. But if you think about what this means, if Elon Musk is associated with XRP in any way, shape, or form, that is going to be a massive, massive catalyst for this project. And the PayPal mafia has played a pivotal role, not only in the Trump administration, but also in projects like Ripple through people like Peter Thiel and Elon Musk. This is a phenomenal and interesting video put out by Not Financial Advice on Twitter. We're just going to play this thing and discuss it. Very self-explanatory here. Elon Musk and Ripple connections. Here we go.
I also find this interesting. As mentioned, the tweet comes on the day of Trump's inauguration and says, "The bear is honored to be among you all today." Then, during Trump's inauguration speech, Trump literally mentions how our country was forged by farmers and soldiers, cowboys and factory workers who pushed onward and let no obstacle defeat their spirit or their pride.
They were farmers and soldiers, cowboys and factory workers who pushed onward, marched forward, and let no obstacle defeat their spirit or their pride.
Okay, so you're pretty much telling me that cowboys pushed onward and didn't let obstacles prevent them from persevering? So Trump hits all three of the most recent Bearable Guy tweets in one sentence during his historical inauguration speech? And meanwhile, the bear wrote on the early morning of Trump's inauguration that he's honored to be among us all today? Could whoever is behind Bearable Guy 123 have attended the inauguration? Could they somehow be involved with the Trump administration? Just something to think about.
So I thought that would be a little fun video to kind of spark the conversation. Now, one thing that we do know for sure is that Elon Musk is playing a massive role in the election of Donald Trump. And when you think about AI, you think about electric vehicles, or just the future in general with Neuralink and SpaceX. Elon Musk is a part of all of these projects. Why would he not be associated with the number one competitor to the central banking system? The idea behind the PayPal mafia originally was to create a payment application where people like us could have a free exchange of value. XRP is just an expansion of that very idea. And that's why people like Peter Thiel have been associated with Ripple and XRP from day one. Brad Garlinghouse is also one of the most well-connected individuals, not only in San Francisco, but inside the United States. So when you think about why Donald Trump is willing to sit down with a Brad Garlinghouse, well, that's because he has some of the most influential friends in America. Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, JD Vance, you name it. Ripple's been associated with them. There's also a massive connection between Rosie Rios, the 43rd Treasurer of the United States, coming to Ripple in 2022 and stating that $100 bill she signed will be the last $100 bill ever issued by the Federal Reserve. That is her words, not mine. So feel free to take that for what you will. Now, we are going to get into something else that's very important. This was circulating on Twitter yesterday, got millions of views on X. So I want to put a little time and attention on this one. There's a dangerous scam circulating around the U.S. Treasury creating an XRP token wallet. This is false. And this is from our friend Echo on Twitter. Thanks to the amazing development teams like Build XRP and ERS, who are building massive ecosystems powered by their tokens, this theory has been debunked. Here's why it's a scam. First of all, there's red flags everywhere. This is not tied to the U.S. Treasury, Ripple, Bank of America, or JP Morgan. People are sending their hard-earned XRP to this wallet, and these scams are preying on the trust and spreading fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the community. Long story short, guys, never send your XRP. Don't try to send your XRP to the U.S. Treasury. I'm not even sure why people would want to do that. But here's a very short video of Echo, our friend Echo. So big shout out to him for doing this great research and video. He's explaining why this is false and people need to be careful.
The U.S. Treasury just created an XRP wallet. Man, as much as I would love for this information to be true, this information is actually false. And a lot of people, believe it or not, are sending their XRP to this wallet address. So we're going to break it down for you all. Shout out to the developers over at BuildX and the ERS team as they have uncovered the truth about this wallet. So there are many red flags with this wallet, okay? And the first things first that we want to check out is that if you go over and you go to XRP scan and you put in the wallet address, you will notice that they have not only just all of these different tokens from Bank of America, BlackRock, and JP Morgan, which again, that's already a red flag, but you can notice they have 16,000 XRP that has been deposited into this wallet by people just sending it over to the treasury, right? Or what they think is the treasury. Now, if you actually click on it and you see what the Genesis wallets are, right, you'll notice, and you just start clicking, that it leads you to a BRICS domain wallet. Now, if you click on that BRICS domain right there, okay, that BRICS domain is not even a valid domain. Why would the BRICS be creating an XRP wallet? Like, I understand with everything going on right now with BRICS and XRP and the theory behind it, but y'all have to be cautious and be careful right here, okay? And people are continually still sending XRP to this wallet. Okay. And now if you keep on clicking through it, right, again, do your own research, but you will notice right here, okay, that it is not true. You have to wait until it actually is official from Bank of America. Now, if you keep on clicking and you find the Genesis wallet itself, you'll notice that it connects and activated by Coin PH, which is a Philippine wallet.
Long story short, this wallet's not connected even to the United States. It's essentially a scam. They used a PDF to copy and paste an image. Then they named the wallet on the XRPL a U.S. Treasury, and people fell for it, guys. They made 16,000 XRP. So if I can give our listeners any advice, and this isn't financial advice, but in some ways it actually is, do not send these assets anywhere. If you've purchased XRP, put them in your ledger, put it in your wallet, and wait for the bull run. Create a plan for yourself. Don't try to be some sort of a first investor into any project, because there's so many scams in this market. I wish it wasn't true. I wish I could come out to you guys and say, look, U.S. Treasury just launched a brand new wallet. We're all going to be gazillionaires. But instead, I have to come out here and warn about scams, because this is something that's been prevalent in the community for years. So it's nothing new to the old XRP members, but there's a lot of new people here, and I want everyone to be careful. I will never DM you. JV will never DM you. Johnny Krypto will never DM you. And I promise you this, I will never ask you for money. If you want to contribute to the show, become a subscriber to my Twitter. It's $5 a month. Very simple, less than a Starbucks cup of coffee. You can follow Fruition Productions. Become a subscriber there for $6.99. You're going to get access to exclusive content. We're going to be providing a lot of that later on in the week as well. We'll be plugging some of that brand new content here. But the long story short, Johnny, is we have to be careful. There's so many scams in the crypto market, and I wish I could be more confident about our listeners avoiding those scams. But believe it or not, this article in particular got over 2.2 million views from the original source. And as I go through a lot of the comments, many of them believe it's true. So that's why I wanted to provide that here. We are 17 minutes into overtime, guys. I'm going to have to take Johnny to his flight fairly soon. If you enjoy the show and if you want to support Johnny Krypto, smash that like button, help the algorithm pump this show out to as many listeners as possible. And let's make this a full-time job so we can do Good Morning Crypto. Then we'll do Good Night Crypto. You'll be sick of us. You'll be hearing so much from us. You'll be sick of us by that point. But Johnny, what's your reaction to the U.S. Treasury wallet and the great research that Echo did? This wallet's not even in America. It's in the Philippines.
Boy, I'll tell you what, I love this community. I love this community. They're out there trying to help and protect each other. Echo is one of the most nicest guys you'll ever meet in your life, guys. Go to XRP Vegas. He'll be there. He's such a good dude. And here he is doing the homework, doing the research to protect you guys, to make sure that you're not getting scammed in this thing. These scammers know how big the XRP army is. It might be the single biggest crypto army in the world. In fact, I'm going to go on record without any data, and I don't like to do this as an engineer, to say we probably are the biggest crypto thing in the world. So what do you think scammers are going to go after? You think they're going after a little small community that's got no money? Or you think they go after the largest community that was all excitement and make it look like? And guys, here's the thing I'm going to tell everybody. If it sounds too good to be true, guess what? Little fact here. It probably fucking is. So don't give your money away to these freaking people. That's ludicrous. And if you're going to do it, I know nobody in our group did that. Oh, I'm going to give a shout out to our man. I know you're going to too. Mr. Aquaman, I love that dude. He is the coolest dude. Freaking smooth. I just love the way he talks. He's such a good dude. And we're going to get him back on this show. Aquaman, thank you for coming on Monday. It was awesome for you to be there. You're such a good dude, man. I can't wait to get him back on.
I also just want to give a shout out to Cypress as well. Aquaman and Cypress, two of the best in the game. And you know what's so cool about what they do? They're showing people how to make profit without having to sell their XRP, right? Because a lot of questions that we get is how can I make money off the XRP that I have, right? I don't want to sell it into the open market. These two guys are great. We're going to be providing more insight from them. Shout out to Mr. Aquaman. Shout out to Cypress as well. Two absolute studs of the market. And you know what I love about these guys? They're helping regular people figure out a way where they don't have to sell the crypto that they've accumulated. Go ahead, Johnny.
They're actually helping people generate passive income off their crypto. And I'll be honest with you, when my account goes up, I'm going to be looking for guys like them. Like, okay, what do we do to turn this into making more money for us without selling it? And we know that like Jake Claver and his group, they've got a solution out there, but you got to have like over $500,000 to do it. But then there's guys like Aquaman and Cypress where you don't have to have $500,000 and you can still earn interest on your crypto. So, and I know everybody wants to know that because even the people we met last night were saying, hey, can you teach us how to make passive income by loaning our assets without selling it? And the first thing that came to my mind, Abs, was, remember I told you, I was like, we got to get Mr. Aquaman in Cyprus back on the show. We're going to be reaching out to you guys because our audience wants to know how they can keep their crypto and earn for their crypto. They basically want to be their own bank, and we're going to make that happen.
I like what Magda had to say. She said, if it sounds too good to be true, forget about it.
Forget about it. That's I love
if
that.
you're enjoying this stream, show us some love. Smash that like button. Tomorrow, I have the event tonight. Tomorrow, I believe I'll be doing the stream from Washington, D.C. as well. But on Friday, we'll be back to normal. And I want to give a huge shout out to Chris and Maya from Fruition Productions for not only helping us get down here and do this on the field coverage. We're going to be doing more projects with them in the future. So check out fruitionproductions.com. We'll be plugging some more content all throughout the week. Johnny, here's something interesting, right? The head of Van Eyck head of research has a surprised look when asked about Cardano. These guys who are Bitcoin maxis, it's an outdated mindset. I'm just going to play the clip. We got two massive things we're going to break down. So we're going to break this down, and then we're going to do another breakdown later where Chris Giancarlo talks about investing in the foundation of the new financial system. That's something our generation has an opportunity to do that just 22 years ago during the internet bubble, Johnny, nobody had that opportunity. So if you want that content, thank you for being here. You're going to get it, guys. We got the best community in the game, and I want to give a thank you to everyone who is watching us today. Here's the latest video, and we'll discuss it. Here we go.
Yeah, it is inexplicable to me, but all of my friends that are not related to crypto at all only ask me about XRP. They're like, Jack, is XRP going to go up? And I'm like, why is this, like, not even Bitcoin? It's they love XRP
and ADA. Someone in the cafeteria a few weeks ago, was asking me about optimism for this year, and I asked, this is a back office person, and I asked her what she had, and it was ADA. I said, what would it take for you to buy more? Wasn't really much of an answer to that one.
I mean, this is pretty funny, guys, because for a long time, these people were the critics. Now they're excited about it. Now they're saying, my friends who have nothing to do with crypto, the only one they care about is XRP. I remember being hyperbolic here. I'm going to be hyperbolic, essentially crucified for saying that we believe XRP was going to be this base layer for national banking. Now we got Mark Yusko saying it. We talked about how it wasn't a security. Now we got the courts agreeing there. We talked about how Gary Gensler, his reign of terror would be insufficient. And here's what happened, Johnny. I love this. I want to get your thoughts on this too. The CNBC anchor told Gary to his face, he said, one of two things happened during your time as chairman of the SEC. Is that salute for me? I'm not sure. Is this
that
America?
For this man right here.
Oh, nice.
Nucci Paisano asked me to give a salute. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to distract you, but he wanted
I
to
thought
give
it was
a
an American hat reference.
He wanted to give you a salute for the XRP army, and that is something I will absolutely do. I'm going to say, hey, smash the like button if I had it. But yeah, that's to you, my man Paisano there. We definitely want to salute the XRP army. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to distract you.
That's okay. I did get distracted. I did lose my train of thought. Erica C in the live chat, shout out to you. You're a great individual. Now, I believe what I was building up to was a lot of the things that we had been predicting and that Bitcoin maxis were critical of.
Yeah.
Those seem to be like consensus now. And when it comes to XRP in particular, in the last 90 days alone, we've completely flipped the environment. I'm going to remember where I was going.
Well, while you do the abs, let me comment on this. So I just want to comment on those guys, those clowns over there talking. I should say, you know what, they're dudes and they're maxis, and that's okay. They have the right to be what they want. I have no right to say anything. If they want to be in Bitcoin, that's great. I want to be in all crypto because I believe that there's use cases for a lot of this stuff, at least the ones we're investing in, right? We understand that And the funny thing is, what they're saying is true. Dude, I had somebody from who I work with. He literally called me after Trump launched this meme coin on Monday, and he's shaking his head. He's so mad at himself. And he goes, Johnny, I should have listened to you. You've been telling me for 2 years to get into crypto. And now, dude, the same day, he's like, send me your Kraken link. He goes to Kraken. He creates an account, and he moved money over the same day, and he bought Bitcoin and XRP. So it's just funny, dude. It's happening. And those guys are seeing it too. Their friends are going to them and saying, I want to know about XRP. Because the whole world. And now, when you look at the connections that Brad has and JD Vance has with the highest level of our government, I'm talking the highest level. You can't get any higher. That's it. You're at the top. You're sitting at the cream of the crop with Donald Trump, JD Vance at dinner. You've made it, my friends. And now that company, Ripple, who has a lot of impact on what XRP is going to do or can do, are now all connected together. Oh, baby. I'm not surprised everybody's going to the maxis and saying, screw Bitcoin. I want to know about XRP. Makes total sense to me. I totally understand it. And it's just going to continue to happen over and over and over again. And you're going to see a lot more pictures just like that with Brad and Trump hanging out together. It's just going to continue. Oh my God. I'm so excited for 2025, 2026. It's like a kid you wake up for Christmas time. Christmas Eve, I can't go to sleep at night. I'm hopping on the bed. I'm all excited. I can't wait to get it, the next day. This is not now. I'm talking about when I was a kid. That's the kind of excitement I have for 2025 and 2026.
That killed me, John. I can just picture you right now, Johnny, Christmas Eve, bouncing on the bed, waiting for Santa to come down the come down the chimney. I want to give a huge thank you to everybody who's contributing in the chat, guys. I just love this picture so much. When you think about where we're headed, a lot of projects, let me just say this one more time. The projects that I am most optimistic on are the ones that we focused on for several years. It's XRP, it's XLM, it's HBAR. It's also Chainlink, it's AVAX. And now if Solana is considered an American crypto asset, I wouldn't be surprised if we had some sort of a VC pump there as well, where people are excited about Solana because they know about the advantages that are coming in. So this is what we showed you last week. I want to kind of expand on this idea right here. The New York Post had reported to their community that they have been cheering on the pro-crypto executive orders Trump is expected to issue, the idea of an American-first strategic reserve that would prioritize digital tokens founded in the U.S., like Solana, USDC, and of course, Ripple XRP as well. The poly market odds for this news right here, Johnny, you're going to love this. Think about this, right? The poly market odds for Bitcoin reserve and for an XRP reserve, Bitcoin is 31%, XRP is 29%. That is how far we've come. Floor is yours. Any thoughts?
Wow, that is a myth. Dude, like nobody in the government has talked about it. I mean, you might have heard a little bit of chitter chatter, but nowhere near the level of what we're hearing about Bitcoin becoming a strategic reserve. And to see that the odds are that close. I mean, again, another reason why you're going to start to see people wanting to know and get more interested in getting XRP. It just makes sense, at the end of the day, because it's going to get all over the place. The news gets out, people start hearing it. And, before you had Trump involved and it was just kind of the prior administration, there's still been shady and scammy. See you later on. Shady and scanning and all that, right? But now that's over. Dude, when the highest level of your government is getting into something, everybody wants to get in because they're like, well, wait a minute. If the president's getting into crypto, then crypto's safe to get into. I mean, you know what I mean? That's the message. That is the halo effect that it sends out to everybody. And that's why people are so excited about the future and why they want to get into this space and get in specifically into XRP now. Because, dude, when you go to look at the crypto market, guess what the top 3 cryptos are you going to see the minute you open up CoinMarketCap?
I'm still not used to it. I swear. So, you know what's funny? Last night I put out this tweet, Johnny, where I said we're only a 2.2x away from passing Ethereum. Every day I wake up, I'm still just getting used to the fact that it goes Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, because for a long time, it was Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Tether, Binance, XRP.
Yeah.
Right?
We were number 7. Yeah.
Right. And that was for years. And that was because of the regulatory clamp that Gary Gensler had put on top of the company Ripple as well as XRP. This is some breaking news that just came out about an hour ago, Johnny. The New York Stock Exchange's global head of listings predicts more crypto companies will go public with an increase in upcoming IPOs. think is very logical, right? Floor is yours. Any thoughts on the Ripple IPO? And then I'll go into our next article.
Oh God, Ripple IPO I think happens this year. I really do. All right, let me caveat that by a couple things. If the case gets dropped, which we all think, we had Gary and Freddie on for those folks who might have missed Monday, and they both said, Abs, if you remember when we asked them point blank, when do we think this is going to get dropped? Freddie, I think, said March or April, and Jeremy said May. So pretty much Q2. In Q2, they think of this year, 2020, the case is over. So I'm going to assume that box gets checked. That's checkbox number one. If that gets taken off the table, then I can easily see. And then two, if we get a massive bull run like we're all predicting, I can easily see them wanting to time an IPO at the height of the bull market without the lawsuit and the monkey no longer on their back. So we need those things to happen. I think the case getting dropped, the money getting settled, and then, of course, the bull run happening. You time all that right. I think we could see a Ripple IPO this year, no doubt about it. I think we'll see, and he's not wrong. We're going to see tons of companies going public this year. They're all going to want to extract. Kraken, Coinbase already did it. Kraken will go out there. Uphold will go out there. Ledger will go out there. Speaking of Ledger apps, I don't know. Somebody put in that in.
It's fake news. It's fake news, guys. So I know what you're going to say. The CEO has not been kidnapped. I can pull it up just because you're probably right. We should address this on air.
Yeah,
there's a rumor going around. There's a rumor. I agree, Johnny. This is what's going around right now. So there was a rumor going around that the CEO or co-founder of Ledger had been kidnapped and that the ransomers were asking for Bitcoin in return. This is not true. And we got confirmation from a couple of the people around him. Maybe if it turns out to be true, I'll stand here and tell you guys as well. But from my sources right now, it appears that it's been confirmed from close friends. He's okay. He's not kidnapped and there's no ransom out there. But again, I thought we should kind of provide that little update. Any thoughts, Johnny? I know you wanted to address that.
Yeah.
You fake news. Listen, you fake news. You fake news.
That's it. We got the record right there from the man himself, right out of the office. This is fake news, folks. We got the fake news button. We don't have to worry about the CEO. He's good. The reason I brought up is Ledger is also another private company that's on Link2 that I also think they're going to go public. Abs, it's going to be, oh my God, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be 1997 on steroids all over again. And I learned my lesson. I am not selling early this time. No question about it. I will sell some, but I'll have an exit plan. I'll have my bags. I'll have my Merlin account. And so it's all going to be fantastic. It's all going to be big. It's going to be great that when all this starts to happen. And I think, if it doesn't happen in 2025, it will 100%, I think, happen in 2026, Abs.
Guys, we are 30 minutes into overtime. I need to give a huge thank you to Mario, Gonzo, but especially Johnny Krypto for missing multiple flights in order to be here today. So shout out to our boy, Johnny Krypto. I did the rain dance last night. I was looking to get some rain in South Carolina. That way he didn't get on his flight on time, and the rain dance was answered. So big shout out to God this morning.
I was going to say, you have to give a shout out to Mother Nature because she delivered for you, baby.
Absolutely, guys. And that's what's pretty exciting. Now, the video that I've actually been queuing up and waiting to play is one that I think Johnny Krypto is going to not only love, but be able to add and expand on, because Chris Giancarlo is talking about how the banks never gave us an opportunity like this before. They've never had to publicly revamp the way that they transfer a lot of these assets. And Johnny often references Amazon and the internet bubble. This is a way bigger opportunity because, Johnny, for the first time ever, we are front running the largest pools of capital on the planet, especially in America. We're not going to play this full 3-minute clip, but I'm telling you guys, listen to every word of this, because I think this just goes to show you, our live chat, depending on what projects you're in, you are going to make so much money if you are patient enough to let what Chris Giancarlo describes here play out. We're going to play this and discuss it. Here we go.
In one sentence, crypto is the internet doing to finance and banking and money itself what the internet has already done to communications, to information, to shopping, to transportation, to entertainment. What is that? It is moving things of value onto the internet in the same way the first wave of the internet moved information onto the internet. Okay. What crypto says is, in order to record value on the internet, we need a certain set of protocols. Just as when we went to record information, we came up with HTML, HTTP. Those are different protocols for organizing websites, for sending email.
Like .com, .org.
Exactly.
Okay.
So what crypto is basically systems for recording value in the internet. And what Bitcoin is, you hear these different names, Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, XRP. They're different protocols for recording value on the internet. And they all have different properties and they work in different ways.
Is it all worth the same?
Okay, now we're talking about the value proposition.
Well, maybe let's
leave
not
that
get
aside
there
for
yet.
a couple more minutes. We are going to get to that, right?
Yeah.
But you're hitting the nail on the head because they all do different things. They all have different value propositions. Just as HTML does something very different than HTTP and .com and .org, they all have different significance on what's called the first wave of the Internet of Information. The first wave of the internet was all about recording information, whether it's a website, whether it's an email, whether it's a text message, using this wonderful network called the internet. It's a network of networks, okay? Now we're moving to the next phase of the internet, an internet where we're going beyond recording information, we're now recording value.
How?
In order to record value, we need different protocols. And we need different systems of organization. The first wave of the internet of information, was organized by volunteers.
Yes.
It was universities and others that wrote those initial protocols. It's very, it was a magical moment or a decade in time or decades.
It was incredible.
It was incredible. This time around, to organize people to record value, we've got to find a way to reward them. So there's a lot changed in Washington just in the last few weeks. Trump has come in on a very pro-crypto agenda. The big thing that's changed is 6 months to 9 months ago, a bank president would have been safe to tell you, we're not getting involved in crypto, it's too dangerous. That's completely reversed. Today, any traditional financial institution that doesn't have a crypto strategy is in threat of actually reputation risk because they're not looking forward. Elections have consequences. The dramatic consequence here is that traditional finance now is suddenly realizing. So in the last few months, or last few weeks, I've met with the CEOs of some of New York's most prominent financial institutions. Every one of them says, I need a crypto strategy. There's reputation risk to their positions as CEO if their firms are not now forward-looking.
It's interesting.
So he said
I would say
so many good things in that short clip here, Johnny, that I'm just going to give you the open floor to talk about what stuck out to you most. Then I have a couple of questions queued up in the back. Guys, we are at 1,170 likes on today's episode. We are 36 minutes into overtime. Can we break 1,250 likes? That would be a phenomenal accomplishment here on Good Morning Crypto. And remember, tomorrow, we're going to provide some insight from this meeting tonight. I'm very excited. That stays in our community alone. Remember, there's only 17,000 people here. There's 7 billion on Earth. So I call this a small community, right, Johnny? We're a niche group of XRP and crypto investors overall. One day, we're going to log on here, and whether it's our community or another one, there's going to be millions of people trying to learn more about crypto, trying to figure out which projects they're investing in. But Chris Giancarlo makes it clear. Starting on November 5th, there was a turn in Wall Street where it went from we're anti-crypto to now if you're anti-crypto, you better have a strategy because your clients are going to be demanding that. Floor is yours, Johnny, and then we'll continue.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think you can fight it much longer. What I loved about what he was talking about there was we figured out how to move information data across the internet, and we do it all the time. Data is flying, zipping through the internet right now, just for me to be here on the screen and for you to be on that screen and for everybody to be listening and for this background to be operating. There's tons of data zipping around right now. Abs, there's no reason why monetary data couldn't be zipping around too. It's just that they didn't want, there was a reason why there's no reason why in 2024 or 2025, I should say now, that we can't have that there. But the reality is it is here, it is now here. And what he talked about was basically, monetizing or turning that monetary data, that information into data so it can be transferred over just as fast. And that's what you'll hear, the internet of value, to be able to unlock that. And that's coming. And every crypto does have a different use case, right? And some things have smart contract capability. Some things have tokenization capability. Some things have cross-border payment solution capability. Everyone does a different thing. And I think what he was trying to explain to her was all these different things can all be put on a blockchain. They can all be documented, and then they can all be, that information can be just easily moved around within seconds, the way my voice is being transmitted to you and to this audience instantaneously. No reason why we can't. So that's why we know it's going to happen. We know it's coming. That's why I'm so excited. I know it's coming. I know. It's just a matter of when. When were we going to get the right environment and the right leadership in our country to enable it to happen? And we finally have it here now. The technology is here, but the people to progress that technology forward, the people at the top that mattered, that were not, and now they're here. And that's why, again, it's just, to me, oh man, it's so exciting to be able to get to live through another opportunity, like the 1997 to 2001. And I'm excited for all you guys have. For me, it's great because I lived through one and I learned from it and I made mistakes and I'm not going to make those again. But for you guys who haven't been through it yet, you have no idea the wild ride that's coming. You're going to absolutely love it. And I'll be here to, at least coach you to be like, don't make the same mistakes I made. We'll be doing this second journey together, but we don't have to do it without going through it and make mistakes that could be, $52 million mistake, right? I made. So we ain't making that mistake again, my friend. That's what people are asking, Abs. They were asking in the chat, where can they get Merlin? Guys, make sure you have an exit plan. I don't care whether you write it on a piece of paper or you go to our site. We created the app and go try it out. There's a link below, and I'll see if I can find the banner. Basically, merlincrypto.com. There, thank you, Abs. Just go to merlincrypto.com. Free 30 days. You can bring all your crypto in one place. You can see what's going on, and you can create an exit plan. So when this exciting time comes, my friends, you take some snippets, you sell, and you can invest in whatever you want and prepare yourself, because you just heard on the Dana Perino show on Fox News, you heard what he just said, that the unlocking of the money, internet value, is coming.
I agree, Johnny. And keep in mind, guys, every single billionaire, every single institution, they all enter these markets with plans on where they're going to take profit. Just because you're creating an exit plan does not mean you're selling all your crypto. It just means you're creating a plan for yourself to take profit while it's there. That's a big mistake that a lot of people made in 2020. And that's why we created this application, Merlin. It's 30 days completely free. And if we're being honest, people could actually go in, use the product to create an exit plan and exit. Now, I'm not saying do that, but I'm saying you could do that, guys. But the product is so good. And we've actually added many new features over these last few months. The allocation tab, the news tab. We're going to have interaction with AI. We've got the best customer service team. So you call our customer service team, you're going to get somebody on the phone. You're not going to get some robot or some outsourced, person in a different country. So if you like this product, if you want to make a lot of money in crypto, take advantage of Merlin. 30 days, absolutely free. You create an exit plan just like the big boys do. That way, when profit comes pumping in, you're not filled with anxiety. You're just filled with excitement and you're ready to make some money. Now, Johnny, I did kind of want to close it out with the fun Mark Yusko conversation, guys. We are 41 minutes into overtime. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. I'd do this show all day if I could, but Johnny's got a flight to catch and we got other things to do. We love you. We appreciate you. So if you enjoy this show, smash that like button. Check out Merlin. Check out fruitionproductions.com for more content just like this. We're going to be giving you behind the scenes access to exclusive events such as Bitcoin, XRP Las Vegas, and many, many more that I'm not going to get into right now, but I will announce in the future. Now, here's what we're going to get into to close out today's show. 500,000 views on this clip from Mark Yusko yesterday when Digital Asset Investor put it out. And I want to make a very strong statement here because to me personally, Mark Yusko has been a class act from day one. He's always been a class act. So we're going to treat him with a certain level of respect on this channel. But the reality here is, guys, I wouldn't be surprised at all if there was a day where Mark not only was embraced by the XRP community, but many of his visions for the future actually align with the visions of XRP community members. So with that being said, we're going to get into this brand new clip here of Mark Yusko discussing how XRP could be creating a competitor to Swift and become the the base layer for national banking.
The one piece of legislation that is likely to happen. The other stuff, there's a lot of talk that they'll expand beyond just Bitcoin to now, XRP and Cardano and Hedera. And look, those founders have been buddying up to the administration and to Eric, and I think Eric's driving a lot of this, his son. So we'll see. But the case for the strategic Bitcoin reserve, because Bitcoin is digital gold, everything else has different roles. Something that could happen. I don't know if it'll happen the first 100 days, Abs, but there's some talk. This will make the XRP people really happy. There is some talk that XRP could be utilized and or ordered to be used for a central bank digital currency or as the base layer for national banking. I don't know if it'll happen or not, but that's one that if that does happen, that changes things. It's kind of like, right now I look at Dogecoin and XRP kind of similarly in that they're utility tokens where you don't really get a share of cash flows. You don't really have a claim on anything. And there's not a lot of developer activity. But if, let's say Doge, if Elon gets in and actually says, hey, we're going to use Doge for people to pay taxes. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but if he did do that, I'd have to say then it's going to be worth more. And so if XRP really does get adopted as the SWIFT standard, clearly it's going to go materially higher. So
there you have it, guys. And Johnny, I think it goes to show that. Oh, floor is yours. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought, then I'll comment.
I was going to say, so me and Johnny were in the background going like this because we're making this joke about how, a lot of the things that we've said for a long time that were kind of frowned upon, like the connections to central banks, the intention of the XRP ledger, that tokenizing assets is really the end game. Cross-border payments is just the beginning. That is something that Mark Yusko was kind of indicating here, and he referenced a central bank digital currency. Well, we don't even have to go that far. Let's start with a stablecoin, right? A stablecoin is just a tokenized version of the United States dollar on a blockchain. Not very different from a central bank digital currency, except for the fact that it's not issued by a central bank. It's issued by a private company called Ripple. So I understand the logic that's kind of happening here, but what works in our favor is this, guys. For years, institutions like BlackRock, Fidelity, Goldman Sachs, Santander, Standard Chartered, the list goes on and on. All these connections have been leaked on social media. They've been shown by content creators. That doesn't happen for Cardano. That doesn't happen for Solana. And these are projects that for a long time were actually higher in market cap than XRP. So for me, I think that a lot of these things, a lot of these rumors are going to come to fruition here in 2025 and inevitably prove a lot of the predictions that we've been stating correct. Another great example of this, Johnny, is the capital gains thing. I broke that story because I had an inside source in October who told me this was true. They said, listen, you're not going to see it on the news. This is true. Post this on social media. I posted it and people didn't believe it. Here we are 4 months later talking about how not only was it true, we may see this come to fruition fairly early here, guys. So that is the type.
We need to do. I got an idea. We got to get a scorecard. We got to create a scorecard of all the predictions we made and keep score because and like you're right. You're not wrong. We made so many predictions and we try to tell people these things are going to happen. And yeah, I get it. People don't believe it, but it is kind of cool. I'm like, okay, what's your scorecard record? And I'd say we got to be up in like the 90% accuracy. We've been pretty accurate on most of this stuff. So, point being to the group out there is, listen, at the end of the day, we try to be very, very accurate with what we say or what we post. If we think, something we post, sometimes you get it off the presses and it's too fresh and we post it. And if we think it's wrong, we'll take it down. And that does happen too, right? We're humans. But overall, we try to make sure. But yeah, when you listen to Mark, the one thing I want everybody to understand that you should walk away with right there was Mark came on our show. He's been, he's told us why he doesn't want XRP. He's been very transparent with us. He said, look, guys, kind of two reasons. One, I didn't invest in it because it wasn't decentralized enough for me. That's what he said. And number two, if it's going to be the rails of the CBDC, he doesn't want nothing to do with it. He doesn't want to own it. You have to respect everybody's investor approach. Warren Buffett, he's the kind of guy that says, I buy stuff that I see in the store that I like, that I use, and I invest in it. But William, thank you for making it today. In Warren Buffett's style, Abs, is I buy stuff and hold them by stuff of the stuff I buy in the store. If I use it, that means I like it. That means other people like it. So I buy. That's an investment strategy. Can't criticize him for it. Right? I'm not going to criticize Mark because he thinks, I don't want to own anything tied to the CBDC. I'm not going to criticize him for that. That's fine. You don't have to own it. But what you should walk away from, what he just said, Mark is well connected. He runs a $3 billion hedge fund. Okay? He's probably a billionaire himself or very close to it. You don't think this man's got some connections? You don't think this man's not hearing rumors from people what's coming? He literally just came on our show and told us, Abs, that I'm hearing chatter that this thing is very possible is going to become potentially the rails of something big. That is the thing you should walk away with. Is we now have another point of validation from somebody who's got connections that's telling us, who's got access to behind the scenes stuff that, not everybody has. And he's telling you, hey guys, something big is coming here. Now, whether he chooses to invest or not, that's always up to him. I don't care whether he does or doesn't. I just appreciate Abs that he came on our show and told our audience what he's hearing. And I think that's fantastic. But, that we can get that kind of insight.
One quick conversation. So earlier in the episode, we had discussed how volume is going to be most important. Well, big shout out to somebody in our live chat. I lost the comment, but they said, and I can kind of validate this, Swift does over $5 trillion in daily transaction volume. If the XRP ledger captured, or RLUSD captured 20%, you're talking about $1 trillion worth of value, which is what would be necessary to become the base layer for national banking at a bare minimum. You're talking about price targets that we are so far beyond. I just told you we were only
Actually, let's do that math. Let's do that math. Abs, what did you say the number was? How many trillion?
5 to 7 a day. Oh, Johnny, you're glitching.
Okay, you keep talking. I'm going to do some math.
Okay, get that math queued up in the background. So what I was building up to is two things. So we're going to talk about that Swift data while Johnny does the math there. Atlantic Living commented, this person said, on another show, Abs, he says he hates it and it's garbage. I don't know how to follow his opinions. He actually referenced that earlier in the stream as well with us, and he felt like, he took responsibility for that. He felt like he was a little bit too strong with the wording. He doesn't believe Brad Garlinghouse is a scammer. But again, guys, as a content creator, I can actually understand where he's coming from. Sometimes in these interviews, you get a little carried away, and I think that happens to the best of us. And Mark Yusko actually went back and said, listen, guys, I took some heat for that. I thought it was warranted. Here's my new take, and gave us that beautiful clip that we've been showing on air. This thing got over 600,000 views yesterday. We're talking about it this morning. So Mark eventually, here's my bold prediction, Johnny. Mark eventually will be embraced by the XRP community. He's just anti-CBDC, and that's what he's afraid of. He even said that behind the scenes off camera. He's like, guys, I am a promoter of freedom. That's why I love Bitcoin. That's why I found Bitcoin. When you talk about what Ripple's creating with these central banks, a lot of it seems like it's anti-freedom. And, I did have a response and we had a great discussion about it. But just to give you some insight into how he got to his opinion, he's trying to do the right thing. And I do think intentions are very important. So, Johnny Krypto, what is the math there on the Swift system? And
So
any thoughts on that?
I got the math here for you, Abs. Before I do it, I just want to address another comment from Atlantic Living. He says, Johnny, that's great, but Mark needs to be consistent when he speaks on XRP on a mainstream outlet. No, I disagree with that. Sorry, and let me tell you why. Because at the end of the day, consistency is driven by information. And I do the same thing. If I get new information, I'm going to now reassess something I said in the past that may be different based on new information today. Mark came on our show, Abs, and said, I change my mind all the time. As I get new information, I change it. That's actually smart. Why would I consistently say the same thing over when I got new information that made me think different? But because I'm afraid I said in the past, I don't want you. No, I don't want to be friends with somebody like that. I don't want somebody like that on the show. I want somebody who comes on the show and is smart enough to adapt to the changing times. And so for me, I'm actually glad that he came on, and he literally came on and literally said, you know what? I said some harsh things about Brad and about XRP, and I regret it. I shouldn't have said it. He literally said that. So kudos to Mark. Kudos to him for staying with the times. Now, let's get to some fun. So if we needed to handle $7 trillion of daily transactional volume, and I'm going to leave it at around 50 billion, so I did around 50 billion coins in circulation just to make it easy to double it. We're looking at an XRP price. You ready, Abs? You want to take a guess first, or you just want me to spit it out? You want to take a guess?
$1 million.
Yeah, okay, not even close to 1 million. Sorry, Molly, but to do 7 trillion, we're nowhere near 1 million. 7 trillion will put an XRP if we had 50 billion coins in circulation. We have a little bit more, so this number's off a little bit, but I'm doing rough fast napkin. We're looking at about $140 XRP to be able to handle a $7 trillion total daily transactional volume. So there you have it, folks. If we get to 7, oh, that's so funny. They're calling you the Terminator now. I would be back.
No, that was supposed to be my Dr. Evil impression from Austin Powers, guys. That's why I did. That's why I did the pinky like this.
They didn't call you. They went right to the Terminator. I guess.
I'll take it.
I'll take it. It's so good. I like it. I thought it was good.
Oh, sorry. Can you remind me of what the number would be, Johnny?
It would be $140 if we had to do a $7 trillion, and it's a little bit lower than that because I just did 50, and I think we have about 57 billion. But whatever, it's close enough. At $140, everybody in this room is going to have their own island anyway. Nobody's going to care. But so $140, or if we assume full maximum dilution, let's say by then Ripple has released the escrow. Like each month they release $1 billion. Let's say it all gets absorbed up and there's 100 billion tokens out there. Then we'd be at about a $70. We'd be at a $70 XRP to handle $7 trillion. So there you have it, folks. We kind of know the number. Now what we really need is the utility to come in. And that's why you've heard me say over and over and over consistently that all I care about is one thing right now. I don't care about the price. I care about those NDAs. I care about all those little conversations, all those little secret conversations they're having in the background. And they're talking about, let's talk about it. I was signing that little agreement. Bring your technology up. Let me play with it. Keep signing them NDAs, baby. Because those NDAs.
Here's another thing, Johnny, about that $140 prediction is that you're doing it in terms of like circulating supply. But remember, like, let's just throw hypotheticals out there. Let's say Johnny had 1 million XRP and I had 1 million XRP. Well, they can't tap that for liquidity. So there's tons of people out there who have bought XRP, put it on a ledger, and it's quote unquote in circulating supply, but it's not actually liquid in the market. So this $140 thing is actually a much higher number, in my opinion, because nobody knows, right? But you might take the side that that's too high of a number. I would say it's too low of a number because there's actually not that many tokens in circulation. One more example of this is like Brad Garlinghouse, right? Brad Garlinghouse owns 4.1 billion units of XRP. Those aren't going to be tapped for liquidity for what we're describing now. So that number gets smaller and smaller, smaller, which works to our advantage.
You might make the assumption, and you know what you might do? You might make the assumption to say, look, the 57 billion that are out there today, those are already tapped. And some of it people will be willing to sell. But the reality is really about the other 43 that have been untapped yet. Those may get all bought up, put aside and say, hey, we're going to use those for that, right? So you got 40, and maybe people want to give. So I actually think the 50 number, assuming 50, is probably a fair estimate, you know, if we get to a $7 trillion total thing. Yeah, she said I could use my bags. But then you know what will happen, Abs, if they need the XRP? Here's what they'll do. They won't force you to sell it, but because if they need it, they'll say, hey, lend it to us. You can lend it to us, right? You still own it. You stake it to a liquidity pool. You can lend it, and we'll borrow it. We'll use it, and we'll pay you a small fee or a small interest rate to do it. I think so. If they needed the other 57 million, that's how they'd go get it.
All right, guys, we are 56 minutes into overtime. We're going to bring it home for today. We got 19,000 people here. Want to give a huge thank you to every single person who joined us today. If you enjoyed the show, especially if you've been here 2 hours, huge thank you to you for even just watching the show. If you want to help out, smash that like button on your way out of here. We do love you guys. We appreciate you guys. And I wanted to end this with a little bit of a fun video to close it out. You may even get tired of winning.
You're going to be so proud of your president, and I don't care about that. But you are going to be so proud of your country because we're going to turn it around and we're going to start winning again. We're going to win so much. We're going to win at every level. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with the economy. We're going to win with military. We're going to win with healthcare and for our veterans. We're going to win with every single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't.